Hey everybody, my name is Alvaro Monterosa. I was born in Salvador and I moved here when I was 6 years old. My dad brought me here, and just like any other kid, taking shots of vaccinations. Started to go to school here, and basically, I'm saying that because my topic today is that I wanted to let you know my deep insights of why I'm voting for Trump. Now, to others, there are others that would say it's about what he did, what his accomplishments has been made for his, this first term. Mine's a little bit more deeper into that. It's more of a reason why it's important to take this as a note, and I think everybody should know at least my insight of why someone like me that's not really stereotypical, someone who wasn't born in this country, is voting for Trump. So basically, just like any other kid, we don't know much about the laws here. We just know that there's countries, there's USA, there's Canada, there's other countries, right? Mexico, Latin America, but we don't know as far as what the laws would affect us. Someone who's not really born here, someone who's born in the United States. We just know, okay, he's an American citizen or he's not an American citizen. I was brought here when I was 6 years old because of, from El Salvador during the Civil War. And this is back in the 80s. So going back to the point is that the fact that, I try to, just like any other kid, we get in trouble, we play, we go to school, we grow up, we graduate and stuff like that. And it isn't until, once I get into high school, I wanted to go to college. And, naturally, sure enough, that's where I was learning about that you have to get financial aid. Based on, I grew up with a single mother with 3 kids, me, and two of my siblings. So, obviously, naturally, I needed some financial aid. And that's where I found out that, because of the fact that, I knew my whole life that, where I'm from, I was born in Salvador, but, I've just pretty much imagine like I just moved here, happened to move here just, because maybe it's a better place. At that time, I wouldn't know because I was 6 years old. Going back to it is that, I wanted to go to Caltech for something. I wanted to make it big. I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be in electronics, computers. So, for that, I'm pretty sure I have I had everything to do, had everything ready until they said, my status. Now, my status, we're here. When we came here to the United States, we never really hid from the government. We actually applied for asylum. We got denied for the reason that we couldn't prove to them that we actually were pretty much, we got displaced here because of the war. So we applied for a permit to stay and work here. So we have what's called the employment authentication ID. So it just tells that I have permission to work here, but that's about it. So that wasn't enough for me to get the financial aid I needed to go to college. So I was really disappointed, and that's when you start to question, why me? Why is it I can't get it, but others can? And naturally, you would think, okay, well, okay, I know I wasn't born there, but in order for me to get financial aid, I have to be born here. Who manages that? The government. So the government decides who gets the benefits, who doesn't, but not based on merit, not based on my qualifications, but the fact is that I wasn't not born here. So, it affects, and I'm speaking on behalf of all millions of us that are in the same situation. So, I got disappointed, started questioning, and I started blaming the government because naturally, I just knew that the government was the one to make decisions. I remember very vividly that I was just so disappointed in the government, and I'm talking about the government of the world, worldwide. It's just, even in the United States, I was just complaining that it's not fair. Everybody should have a right to get an education. A right to have the pathway to get the education, or the help they need. And pretty much that's where I've become some sort of like I say, I guess you can say a truth seeker, because, something's just not right. If it's, if I can't get it based on where I'm born, it just doesn't sound right. It just doesn't sound right. Not logical. It just doesn't sound right. That's why I started to question more and deeper and going to the rabbit hole. So, I was questioned more and more, and I can find out that, it's pretty much gets to the root of the questions why we even have to come here to get a better, life. Why is it that we can't get it over there or anywhere else in the world? We understand the world is not perfect, but it doesn't have to be that drastic. And when you dig in deeper, it's like you're trying to find the root cause of the problem. And I'm surprised, going back into the point of why I voted for Trump, is the fact that he gets into the root of that particular cause. And this is not talking about immigration. Questions why they're even coming here. He even said it. I remember him saying that, and someone any of the his adversaries would say, well, it's because they come here, they got the family separated, and now it's sad that they're separated and they come back and never got the families can never come back. But that doesn't tackle the root of the problem. It doesn't. So I know that, and ask me how I know. You don't. The families get separated as soon as my dad was the one who brought me here. So my dad, as soon as he took me from El Salvador to come here, that's when families separated. Now it's not just family separation; it's culture separation. It's we're being displaced. Just because we have to. We can't just stay there and then not able to work. And now we can't eat, and we starve. So it's an act of desperation why we have to come here. So it is true that the fact that all of us come here through merit because we just want to work, we just want to get our we just want our lives, we want a fair share of lives. So basically, one of the things he did, Mr. Trump, is that he intends to cut the foreign aid to all the triangle, to Central America, Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. The reason why strange as it sounds, I favor that is because I found out that pretty much digging in deeper is that all the presidents, all the governments there in Central America were corrupt. And that's how I found out, because they got arrested. Some of them very recently, and some of them even had a lot of money. And I can pretty much guess what they got that money from, 408, maybe. So, I'm pretty sure, it's confirmed that that's what happened. So I've seen in the newspapers, you can see yourself that the ex-presidents in El Salvador got arrested for corruption. So, and that's an important fact, because that tells us that all the money we've been given, the United States here to them are not being used right. Look what happened in Puerto Rico. Same thing, they found out that they had all the supplies there in a big warehouse, and guess who had it? The government had it. The governor, I believe, that was involved with it, and a lot of people got pissed off, and it's the same exact thing happening over there. People got pissed off the fact that the presidents of Salvador got arrested for corruption. They would have helped us, so that we don't have to come here. So something tells me maybe they're finding an excuse for all the immigrants to keep on flowing to us. So that's why I started questions. So more questions on that. And now we jump into the 2018. So when the migrant caravan happened, and about the migrant caravan is that a lot, flow of thousands of people are going. Now, when that happened, I was actually ecstatic, because it's like, yes, because doing so would actually piss them off. Not piss them off as far as the government, but show them like, hey, we're tired of this. We're tired of putting them in poverty, not able to find a job and get away with life. So at first, that's why I was ecstatic for you. It's not because let's have all of them come here. That's not the whole point. The whole point is to make it out there. Where you make it out here it's the same. You can study there and be an engineer there in El Salvador and make it big. And we want everybody to have the fair share, just like we have it here. So, losing train of thought already. So basically what happens is that as soon as they reach to the border, the immigrants, the Trump kept saying, it's not just immigrants, it's human trafficking, it's drugs. He keeps repeating. And I say, why does he keep repeating that? I don't think other presidents have said it as much or get paid more attention to it as much as he did. So that kind of woke me up. So is when it hit me where this is bigger than, it's bigger than the picture. Bigger than I thought. So, now I can find out the governments there are being paid to say to let's say very, I guess not of a, I guess my best way to say it is to say that the governments there, even way back then, let's say way back then, they always want the people in poverty so that they can work to save jobs. And I think when I did a research, it was called the Monroe Doctrine. And so that actually gave a pathway for businessmen that in the United States to own businesses there in El Salvador, Honduras, and Guatemala to be protected in case other countries would invade and take their, let's say, if those countries are being colonized by a country, the doctrine would actually protect them by, make sure that other countries don't invade them. So this would include their own government. So if someone actually will overthrow it and actually interfere with the businessmen or the business that the businessmen have it, they're going to say, hey, we're going to have the U.S. military intervene into it to stop that. So that, now this is based on a video that I saw back in 2018. You should watch it. It's 12 minutes long, I believe. And it talks about the U.S. intervention of how the U.S. had a lot to do with this, the stabilizing there in Central America. So, and this is, it goes all the way back and over 150 years ago, and but for that Monroe Doctrine to be applied, I guess the same thing is happening today. Now, where, maybe the foreign aid is being misused, we don't know, but basically, they get the money and say, do what you want, but make sure those people are in poverty so they can come over here and have an excuse to come over to the border. And so, it goes without saying, every time someone gets caught on the border, if one person gets caught here, at the same time, someone can actually use a diversion crossing the other one. So it's always finding an excuse for crossing the borders. You can cross drugs around and across human trafficking, pretty much, which is real, because now that explains why I've seen in so many times, it's all on my face and, and everybody's faces, all school children's faces back in the 80s and 90s when they see a missing children on the milk carton. You see it every day. You go to Walmart, you go to stores, all you see is pictures of missing children. I mean, just there shouldn't even be missing children, given that the fact that how many serial killers are in the United States. So there's more than just, it doesn't add up. So, so that, you question that kind of, that root of the problem. So there's not a lot to it than just immigrants, us coming in here. No, the border is just for, to cut that supply. And that's exactly what he said. So, basically, I've been waiting for 20 years for a president just to cut the foreign aid, and Trump was the first one to do it. So every other presidents have not done it. I've actually given them the money, but you know how that goes. Look what happened in Puerto Rico, same thing. So, just take a note of this. Is a very good point. To know why someone like me is actually voting for him, and hopefully, like, for example, what I want is, the people that are over there in Central America, Mexico, all Latin America to have the same, the same kind of things we have here, the same kind of opportunities. And it seems like, Mr. Trump is actually doing so. Now, when he cut the financial aid, I'm pretty sure, there was a new president, Nayib Bukele. He's now the president of El Salvador. And basically, if you watch the videos, if you watch him closely, he kind of reminds you of Trump just a little, just the way his demeanor, the way he goes up to people and, talks to people, talking about the business. I've seen the videos too, and he looks legit, very legit. So, he's even come here, he's met with Trump, and he's, they talk, behind doors. I'm pretty sure they're talking about something, they're working things out. So I've seen it, I just don't know what they're talking. Of course, you don't have to know the details, but the fact is they're working something out together. So, so that's what's going on. So, my cousin, my cousins grew up there in El Salvador all his life, and he moved here. He got the citizenship through merit, just recently, I think last year or so. And he recently went to El Salvador, and I asked him, hey, Bukele says that he's doing this, he's taking care of this, he's making things safer. And one of the things that makes it very dangerous there in Salvador is you can't really ride the bus there, and safely. So I asked him, hey, is it safer to ride the bus now? What's going on? It's like, yeah, there's more guards now. He's like, are you sure? Yeah, it feels like it's more safer. I see guards now there, and this is not, that wasn't there before. So I'm like, okay, that's what I need to know. So it goes to show you that, things are getting better over there. So um, it's just seeing the results of change that's going on. But it's just, my point is why someone like me is voting for him. Someone who wasn't even born here in this country. I think I said it already. So basically, what happens is, back in 2016, I think I wasn't a citizen back then. I was still a permanent resident. But if I wanted, I don't know if I wanted to vote back then, but I've always stayed away from politics. And I when I saw that Trump was going to be president, I thought in my head, well, maybe he wants power. Why does he want to be president if he's billionaire? Well, maybe more power. So until his started to say some words about immigration, that's what kind of, at that time I wasn't paying attention because I was staying away from politics, but I was like kind of like, all right, let's see what he can do, kind of a thing. So that was my partake with him. So now it's like, okay, now he's actually doing it. He's done a lot, and looks like he has a lot of energy. It kind of reminds me of me. Like you want a president that reminds you of you, that if you want to fix, if you want to go and be the leader of the nation, you look at yourself, and then look at see if that reflects, So pretty much like now to get a more insight of what happened in Salvador, of why we can't just rebel against our against our own government, is because of the U.S. intervention. Now, this movie called Salvador, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It is very good. It is based on a true story, and it started by James Woods. And James Woods, if you're there listening, you're badass for taking part of that character there. So basically, it's all about that. He's a journalist. I hope I don't want to spoil anything, but basically, it just tells you exactly the story of the Civil War and how the U.S. had intervened with it, and how the life of a journalist that actually was there, how he experienced it. So watch it. I recommend it. That's pretty much on the reference, I would say, to clarify why I actually chose to vote for him. And pretty much that concludes it. If hopefully my message is understood. I know that I don't go out here and talk much, but hopefully you have a good one.